Guess who's back in the house? I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. I wanted to talk about a story that I just learned about via social media. There was a young guy who was 20 named Maurice Willoughby who took his life, unfortunately, earlier in the week. He lived in Philadelphia and was an aspiring rapper. He went by the name of Reese, Daddie. And he was dating a black trans woman by the name of Faith Palmer. He was in love with Faith so much that he tattooed her full name on his forehead. And he went on Facebook Live at some point and proclaimed his love for her and basically told everyone who was watching the video that Faith was actually transgender. The video went viral and circulated all over the city. And so one day he was in his neighborhood and it looked like he was going to a grocery store, and a group of men who were outside the grocery store started harassing him. And so the people that were harassing him actually took out their cell phones and started recording the incident. And so the video of these men harassing him went viral. And in the video, you hear them saying, "Oh, you're gay. You're with a man, not a woman." And he actually is, I can't really hear what he's saying in the video, but it sounds as if he's defending Faith. And also, it's important to know that he identified as heterosexual. And so he was a cisgendered heterosexual male who was attracted to a trans woman. And it's odd to think that it's 2019, but for a cisgendered heterosexual male to date a trans woman, openly date a trans woman, is still considered taboo. In the LGBT community, there have been so many strides made toward equality and rights, but the T in LGBT is still taboo. And so in response to this video going viral, he actually created a new Facebook cover, and it said, "They think I'm gay and that's okay." And so according to his girlfriend, Faith, because of the video, he fell into major depression and he started experiencing cyberbullying. The bullying caused him to self-medicate and he became addicted to pills. And unfortunately, he overdosed on pills. I'm not sure what those pills were. And so there was a website that immediately reported about his death. And upon this website writing this article, there were a lot of people that started posting about it on social media. And I'm going to read some of those posts. Ashley Marie Preston wrote, "When a man is confident and secure enough to openly love a trans woman, this is bullying and harassment he gets. When trans attracted men kill us, it is out of fear that this will happen to them if they are outed. Reese didn't kill his girlfriend. He killed himself instead." Jendina wrote, "Bless your spirit, hashtag rest in peace, Reese. You were a courageous soul. I pray that other trans attracted men, particularly men of color, have your courage, but don't resort to suicide, homicide. Janet Mock wrote, "My heart breaks for Reese, for his girlfriend, and their loved ones. These men screaming at him are beyond fragile, standing on a shaky altar of masculinity. Too insecure to do what Reese did. Unapologetically love a woman who everyone says is unworthy of love." Peppermint wrote, "My heart breaks for Princess Wildcat and the family of Reese Daddie. For those of you that don't know, Reese was someone who had the audacity to publicly love a trans woman. After enduring torment and ridicule yesterday, he died by suicide. Look up the transgender people in your lives and lift up the partners and loves of transgender people. In some cases, it's life and death." And so, Faith later came out, I believe, on Instagram in a live video and stated that Maurice did not commit suicide because of cyberbullying. He committed suicide because, or I should say, took his life. He overdosed due to mental health issues. And so, because no one was there with him when this happened, none of us will actually know what actually led up to his death. But I think it's important to talk about two separate issues within this story. In the Facebook Live, Faith also stated that Maurice was very abusive towards her and she is a survivor of abuse. So that's one thing. It's unfortunate that a lot of trans women are or find themselves in abusive relationships with men. And sometimes that abuse can lead to death. And it's a dangerous world for trans women, especially trans women of color. And one thing that I love in this age of the television pose, that it's creating larger conversations around the transgender community and ways that other groups of people can support trans people. While doing this research, I discovered that there is this organization that people can donate money. That way, trans women specifically don't have to rely on public transportation to get around, that they will help secure transportation for them. And it's called I think it's called Black Trans Travel. And you can find them on Instagram and on Twitter. It's a great organization that you should support. Also, another issue is about heterosexual men loving trans women. And so, kind of like outside of the abuse situation, going back to the video of the group of men harassing Maurice for dating a trans woman, I find it disgusting that a group of people can harass someone for the person that they choose to love. And one thing that we can say is that if if people say that they are a supporter of equal rights, um, meaning that black people, black women, um, and other minority groups deserve equal rights. Uh, Trans people should be included in those groups. It's very hypocritical to say that you're for equal rights, but that doesn't include trans people. And I really want, and I know that kind of like you can't change a person's mind, especially around a subject around being transgender and what that means. Um, I have met gay men who um, will refuse to acknowledge um, trans identities. And I know I have heard of stories where like trans women have been left out and shunned by gay men. That's a whole nother conversation. Um, but I think that Pose is really opening up the eyes of the larger community um, by having a number of trans characters who are in lead roles. And so Pose was renewed for season 3, and I hope in episode 9 of season 2, Blanca had a love interest who was a lifeguard, and I hope in season 3 that that relationship is explored more, um, just so that it can further the conversation about what it means for a heterosexual man to love a trans woman. And we can look to Little Poppy and Angel in the show, who I don't know if it has actually come out, but I believe that Little Poppy is heterosexual, who's also cisgendered, and Angel is a trans woman. And so I really love their relationship. And I can't, in like pop culture, there's only one other TV show, which actually I didn't watch, but I heard of it. It was called, I think it was called like Sexy Dirty Money. And it was, one of the characters was um, Candace Kane, and who is a trans woman. And she was in a relationship with a man on the show. And but that came out like a few years ago, maybe like 6 years ago. And so since then, I don't think there has been a trans character on TV in a relationship with a cisgendered heterosexual male. And so more information will come out about this particular story, and I will be sure to update you all on this story because it is very interesting to me. Um, be sure to leave your comments about what you think about this story. Have you heard of the story? Um, and until next time, I will see you later. But before I get off, please make sure that if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and please share it amongst your social network. Have a wonderful day.